Welcome to INN's Student. INN Student is a platform for law students to come here and deliver a lecture on the topic of their choice. Today we have with us law student Purna Chandora. She is going to speak on Sabrimala case analysis. She is from KES Shri Jayanatilal H Patel College of Law. So without wasting further time, I would request her to commence with the lecture. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Good morning, everyone. I am Purna Chandora, studying in KES Shri Jayanatilal H Patel Law College in 4th year BA LLB. Today, my topic is Sabrimala case analysis. Let us jump to the introduction. The Sabrimala temple dispute in Kerala, India has emerged as a defining case of 2021 century, spotlighting the tension between constitutional secularism, gender equality, and religious traditions. The Supreme Court's 2018 verdict allowing women of all ages to enter the Sabrimala temple ignited debates over the judiciary's role in resolving socio-religious conflicts. A decade later, the case continues to influence judicial reforms, public sentiment, and governance. This article delves into the Sabrimala case background, analyzes its aftermath, assesses judicial reforms post-verdict, and evaluates what failed, offering a comprehensive perspective for students and educators. The background of the issue. The Sabrimala temple, dedicated to Lord Ayyappa, is a Naistika Brahmachari, is one of the Hinduism's most revered pilgrimage site. For over a century, temple authorities and devotees upheld a custom prohibiting women aged from 10 to 50 from entering, citing religious and iconographic reasoning. This tradition, however, clashed with the Indian Constitution principles of equality, Article 14, and the right to practice religion, Article 25. The legal battle began in 1986 when a woman attempted to enter the temple, prompting protest and a ban. The issue re-emerged in 2011 when the Kerala High Court directed the government to allow women entry. The state government temporarily suspended this order, citing public unrest. The case finally reached the Supreme Court in 2018, where a 5-judge bench delivered a 4:1 ratio majority verdict legalizing women's entry. Justice Indu Malhotra, the first woman to serve on the Supreme Court, wrote the majority opinion, emphasizing gender equality and the fluidity of religion. The verdict and its implication. The Supreme Court judgment hinged on two constitutional principles: the right to equality, Article 14. The court declared that gender-based exclusion violated the fundamental rights of women, and second, the right to freedom of religion, Article 25. While recognizing the right to religious practice, the bench asserted that customs offensive to equality could be revisited. However, the verdict was not unanimous. Justice R.F. Nariman, while supporting the decision in principle, expressed concerns about enforcing it during peak pilgrimage season. Justice A.K. Sikri, dissenting, argued that the court overstepped as the dispute was best resolved through interfaith dialogue. Aftermath and social impact. The verdict triggered nationwide protest, with critics arguing it undermined religious autonomy. In Kerala, thousands of devotees staged a Bonalu, that is, a protest march, leading to violent clashes with police. The state government refused to implement the order, citing public unrest. I requested the Supreme Court to reconsider. In 19, the Supreme Court reaffirmed its 2018 ruling in 4:2 verdict, rejecting appeals to allow a ban. However, in 2023, a 3-bench judge allowed the Kerala High Court to revisit the issue, acknowledging the challenge of maintaining peace and tranquility in religious spaces. The oscillation reflects the judiciary's struggle to balance legal principle with social harmony. Judicial reforms post Sabrimala. The Sabrimala cases has spurred conversation about judicial reforms, particularly in handling socio-religious conflicts. Transparency in judgment. Critics argue that the initial verdict lacked detailed reasoning on the right to practice religion. Post Sabrimala, courts have emphasized clearer explanations, especially in decisive cases. Consultation with stakeholders. The 2023 judgment highlighted the importance of involving religious institutions in decision making. In 2024, the Supreme Court appointed a committee to review temple administration, signaling a shift toward collaborative governance. Public communication. Experts like Dr. Madhav Narayanan, a constitution scholar, stressed that the judiciary must improve communication to build public trust. The Sabrimala cases showed that a purely legislative approach cannot resolve cultural conflicts. What failed in Sabrimala cases? Despite its constitutional merits, the verdict faced implementation challenges due to several failures. First, lack of sensitivity in enforcement. The government's blunt directive to police to enforce entry led to violent crackdowns in 2019, alienating the community. Second, underestimating public sentiment. The judiciary was accused of constitutional overreach by scholars like Premji Arvind, who argued that traditional and law can coexist if there is empathy. Third, absence of phased approach. Legal experts suggest a gradual implementation model similar to the one used in the Shah Banu 1985 could have eased transition. Current scenarios and development. As of 2024, the Sabrimala temple continues to be a flashpoint. The Kerala government has maintained the 2011 temporary ban, citing a Supreme Court order, but local temple authorities are under pressure to comply with 2018 verdict. The high-profile committee, led by the former Justice K.G. Balakrishnan, is expected to propose reforms in temple management within a year. Meanwhile, the Supreme Court has indicated a willingness to revisit the case if new evidence emerges. Socially, while urban areas increasingly support gender equality, rural communities remain divided. Survey shows that 47% of the Keralites favor the ban, reflecting deep social divides. My suggestion on social reforms and judicial reform. Sabrimala case underscores the need for a nuisance judiciary engaging with communities. Courts must recognize that not all constitutional rights are easy to implement in culturally sensitive contexts. Second, balancing secularism and pluralism. While promoting equality, the judiciary must respect India's religious diversity. And third, enhancing judicial outreach. Educational campaigns and public dialogue could help bridge the gap between legal theory and public understanding. Conclusion. The Sabrimala case remains a landmark example of the challenges facing modern democracies and reconciliating secular principle with tradition. It has catalyzed judicial reform, emphasizing transparency, consultation, and empathy. For students of law and governance, it has a case study in how courts navigate the delicate intersection of identity, rights, and public order. As India moves forward, the Sabrimala verdict serves as a reminder that justice is not just about legal correctness but also about societal harmony. The judiciary must evolve from being a fortress of law to a mediator of cultural dialogues, says Dr. Anuj Bhavania, a legal analyst at NLSIU, Bangalore. Sabrimala teaches us that justice delayed is understanding social may cost more than it resolves. Thank you.
Purna, thank you very much. It was a nice overview and dissection of the Sabrimala case, because this was a very important case looked throughout India, because the gender equality, the rights of women. So a nice analysis we have done of this. A small token from Hammurabi to you.
Thank you, sir.